all of the left-wing media, CNN, were saying, oh, Trump is such a wuss for going into the bunker. And it's like, the Secret Service were up on the roof, and I've talked to guys who were there that night, and they were like ready for them to overrun the front lawn. And if that had to happen, then there would have been
a lot of people that took rounds.
Yes, exactly.
Because the Secret Service,
people don't realize how close that was to happening.
Yeah.
I mean, the Secret Service was overwhelmed. They're getting bricks thrown. There were dozens of them that were injured. And it's like, isn't that warranted to put the president into the bunker? Like, isn't that what,
I mean, at that point, the president doesn't have a choice.
Yeah,
there is a point,
exactly.
There is a level, a certain threshold that once it's met, the president doesn't get to tell Secret Service what to do anymore. The Secret Service is like, no, Mr. President, we're running the show right now until the situation is under control again. But the leftist media isn't going to ever. I mean, that was their.
I mean, that was an insurrection.
Yeah, clearly,
that was an attempt.
Well, I would argue that neither of them were an insurrection.
Well, no, I know, but just using the crying Adam Kinzinger's emotional outburst. Because you can say the same thing about the Portland courthouse, because it's a rebellion against the federal government. Obviously not the Capitol building, but it's still federal government property with federal agents.
And how many nights was the Portland courthouse under siege? And siege is legitimate. They were
over 100.
Yeah, it was for a while, and they continued, because once they were done with the federal courthouse, they went back to targeting the Portland police precincts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it was it went for very long.
I mean, it was crazy, like straight up garbage fires every single night. I'd be like,
well, that's just Portland.
I'd be like sitting around a garbage fire, like talking to these dudes, like trying to get some semblance of why they were out there. And it's like literally we're right in front of the Portland courthouse, on the street in front of it, and we're around a garbage. I definitely lost years off my life breathing in whatever plastic was burning. And I'm not even kidding you. There was a moment where in the plaza, so they would use saws, like actual metal saws, to saw open the fence.
Yeah.
They'd rip the fence open, and they go into the plaza and light a garbage fire. And it's like the first night that I was there, a dude threw a plastic fan into the flame, and I was like, I guess that's a new definition of fanning the flames there.
Well, when I was there, because people would try to, because as I found out, they had the cops had slits, because obviously the whole thing was locked down, but they had a slit, so they would shoot pepper balls at anybody who had broken through the fence.
Oh, I got hit with a couple of those.
So people would go into the fence and would basically just try to do like a 100-yard dash. Try just to mess with
just to see if they could do it.
Just to see if they could try to run through the gauntlet without getting shot.
It was like the idiot Olympics. I remember Shelby had the funniest. It was Shelby Talcott, who was out there when we were working at the Daily Caller. There was a guy who had a lacrosse stick, and he like caught one of the tear gas canisters and he threw it back over with his lacrosse stick, and he like raised it as if he had just scored a goal and won the championship, and everyone was like, yeah, it's like the idiot Olympics.
Freaking lax bros, man. We get it. You played lacrosse. Right?
The idiot Olympics is good. But if there isn't, or if the FBI doesn't have the wherewithal to actually go after the NGOs, do you guys have a sense that there is still that kind of, the kind of infrastructure necessary to gin up the kind of riots that we saw in 2020? Because again, I don't think that the motivation is there. I think that it would take something like George Floyd being killed to get that, and I think that it was unique. Like you said, we mentioned COVID, and we mentioned that, and I don't think the left has that kind of influence anymore either. I think the American people have got a sense that the left is actually a problem, and that's why you see so many people that are no longer afraid to say, yeah, you know what, I think Donald Trump is okay. Not even just to be like, oh, I'm a big Trump supporter, but yeah, he's probably not a Nazi, which is now a brave which used to be a brave statement, but now it's I think that it's actually fairly normal.
Now it's just Elon Musk. No,
exactly.
I think at a minimum, I think I would say the motivation is there, because we've already seen protests, and some of them have gotten out of hand. I mean, Glendale, right next to Phoenix, someone stole a cop car and took it for a joyride during one of these things. So it's not to the level of 2020, and I don't want to make a hard prediction of like, yes, it is going to, but the conditions are there. The conditions are there for something to kind of ignite. You know, I think, as I was saying earlier, with how the current protests are right now, and with how public opinion is not with them, the majority of public opinion, they have an uphill battle. So it would have to be something particularly egregious.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, so subscribe and come hang out.